Ladies and gentlemen, there are stories that surface in the open, and there are those buried deep beneath the surface. Stories governments don't want you to know. And today, we are uncovering one of those stories. Uganda's veteran opposition leader, Dr. Kizza Besigye, together with his aide, Hajj Obeid Lutale, have now spent 147 days in detention. The Kampala High Court, citing the grave and dangerous nature of the charges, has denied them bail, even though all legal requirements were met. But what could be so serious, so threatening, that it shook the very pillars of Museveni's government? After weeks of digging, cross-referencing reports from nation media, Reuters and underground sources, I finally pieced together the untold story of what really happened. And trust me, it's bigger, deeper, and darker than you've been told. You see, in every country, one thing remains constant. Governments always keep a sharp eye on their critics. And if there's a man who has mastered that art, it's none other than President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. From Bobi Wine to Kizza Besigye, Museveni's network monitors their every move, day and night, public and private. Nothing escapes his long, unblinking gaze. And this is where it all began.
On April 2nd, 2023, Dr. Kizza Besije left Uganda, citing poor health, heading for Geneva, Switzerland. On the surface, a medical trip. But what Besije didn't know was that Museveni's Special Intelligence Service was watching. Every move, every phone call, every whisper, tracked. He landed in Geneva on April 3rd. Checked into the Four Seasons Hotel des Bergues, his movements discreet, but not discreet enough. The following day, Besije visited Geneva University Hospital. But by April 5th, things took a dramatic turn. That evening, he met his son, Kizza Besije, a figure rising within Europe's LGBTQ+ circles, with influence stretching from Geneva to Athens. And through Anselm, a powerful, wealthy network was unlocked. Ladies and gentlemen, that evening, in a 7-hour-long closed-door meeting, Besije met with prominent LGBTQ+ donors and activists across Europe. A meeting disguised as a fundraiser. But the real agenda? Financing a regime change in Uganda. Yes, through Anselm's LGBTQ+ networks, millions of dollars were promised, but on one condition. Besije would use his influence to fight Uganda's controversial anti-LGBTQ+ laws signed by Museveni. In exchange, these powerful groups would back his underground campaign to topple the Museveni government. At the very same time, in Athens, Greece, a parallel meeting was taking place. The agenda identical. Funds, strategy, and a promise: change the regime at whatever cost. And here's where it gets even more dangerous. Insiders revealed Besije wasn't just planning peaceful resistance. The phrase used was, change the regime by any means necessary. A coded language often interpreted in military circles as coup plotting. And let's not forget, Besije is a former military officer, a colonel, a man trained for combat. After completing his meetings and medical checkups, Besije returned to Uganda on April 11th, 2023. But by then, the net had already closed in. Museveni's spies had recorded everything. The meetings, the deals, the funding promises, and the coup plot. After jetting back to Uganda, Dr. Kizza Besije wasn't just another politician back from treatment. No, ladies and gentlemen, the storm was just beginning. Ugandan intelligence, who had been watching his every move in Geneva, continued to shadow his footsteps. What they uncovered next sent shockwaves through Kampala's security apparatus. It's alleged that Besije began recruiting militias, handpicking loyal men to undergo paramilitary training across the border in Kisumu, Kenya. Intelligence reports claim Besije was also secretly purchasing military-grade weapons from various Asian countries, carefully building what authorities believe was a shadow force. Fast forward to July 2024. According to Ugandan authorities, the plot had matured. Besije had appointed 36 key operatives, trusted lieutenants meant to spearhead training operations in Kisumu. Quietly, one by one, they slipped across the border. But what these 36 men didn't realize is that the Ugandan intelligence was still on their radar. Every phone call, every border crossing, every step was under surveillance. They were all captured, every single one of them. Hauled back to Uganda. Let's name a few for the record.
Here are their names: Samuel Makoka Mugeni, Dr. George Okello Ekwaro, Paul Kawanguzi, Innocent Museveni, Rubarondesa, Charles Luanga Bukenya, Dennis Nono Owachigyu, Arthur Kugumisiriza, Henry Buyondo, Peter Sozi Olinga, Charles Nkonge, Moses Kankara Mwaka, Adios Beno Mugisha, and many more.
Ugandan security believes these men were part of a planned paramilitary training network under the command of Dr. Kizza Besigye. Now here's where the plot thickens. A similar secret meeting, like the one Besije allegedly held in Geneva and Athens, was scheduled to happen again. This time in Nairobi, November 2024. But Besije needed a reason, a cover.
Funga! Fungua! Asante.
And what better opportunity than a book launch by NARC Kenya leader Martha Karua on November 16th, 2024. A high-profile public event. Perfect camouflage. On that very day, Besije arrived in Nairobi. But this time, Ugandan intelligence wasn't just watching. They came prepared to strike. After the book launch, Besije left discreetly, heading towards Riverside in Westlands, Nairobi. But unknown to him, he was being shadowed step by step. The trap was finally sprung. Inside the hotel, Ugandan operatives arrested Besije. Shockingly, in his possession was a firearm, unregistered, illegal, believed to be one of the very weapons smuggled from Asia for his alleged militia. Alongside him, his long-serving aide Hajj Lutale was also arrested. Both men were swiftly extradited back to Uganda. Within days, they stood before Uganda's military court. The charges? Treason. Conspiracy to overthrow the government of Uganda.
Now here we are, April 2025. That is why today, 147 days later, Besije and Lutale remain behind bars. Not because of flimsy charges, but because of what the government describes as a grave and active threat to national security. And now, my dear viewers, I turn this to you. Do you find anything suspicious in their travels and alleged connections? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. Let's open this conversation. And if this deep dive shed some light for you, kindly hit that like button, share this video, subscribe to this channel, and smash that notification bell so you never miss any of our powerful investigative videos. Until next time, it's goodbye for now. Stay curious, stay informed.